Hello everyone. Welcome to the first video of the year. Yeah, I know it took almost the whole month. Don't don't come at me. It took the whole month. I was spending the whole month playing games that we're gonna be talking about in this video, okay? So, through this entire month, I decided to play through the Resident Evil games. At first, hold on. Sorry, I got a text. Let's try that again. Um, yeah, so at first this video was gonna be a video on every game I played this month, regardless of if I finished it or not. But there were 5 games that I did that I think I spent so much time with that I want to talk about specifically those games instead. And those are the Resident Evil games. Specifically the modern ones. I know. Don't I see those people in the comments. Do not get mad at me. I have every single game wishlisted. The ones that the ones that are on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5. I have all of those wishlisted because I want more. So, yeah, I will get to those eventually, including the older versions of the games I've already played. Because, again, I want more of this. And I want to see where the series started from. But, for today, we're only talking about the modern ones because those are the games I've played. And those are Resident Evil 2, 3, 4, the remakes, and then Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 8. Because I wanted to make sure I played the most recent versions, like the games that would influence the gameplay of Resident Evil Requiem the most, because I saw the trailer for this game when it first got revealed at Summer Games Fest last year. I think is when it got revealed. I don't remember, but when I first saw that trailer, I was like, I need this game, but I haven't played any of the other ones. Well, at that time I hadn't played any of them because I am not a horror game person. Well, that clearly changed, but I'm usually not a horror game person. I don't like scary stuff. But so I was like, do I play these? Do I want to play Resident Evil Requiem? If I'm gonna play that, I should play the rest of the games first before I play it, so then I can get comfortable with the gameplay. And here we are. I decided January 1st, literally the first day of the year, to start up Resident Evil 2 Remake. And this game started my journey to play through all of the modern games. And I chose the modern games because I didn't want to play like the older versions, of the games when there's remakes out there. And I started with 2 because there's a remake. There is a remake of the original Resident Evil, which I now want to play. It's like I said, it's on my wish list. I probably will put a picture of it in on the screen on my wish list. But I didn't think I would love this game as much as I did, but because I was so excited to get these series, first of all, I finished the game in a couple days. I finished Leon A and Leon B, Claire A, and Claire B. I did all of the playthroughs, every single playthrough. Well, how I did is I did Leon A, and then I did Claire A, so I could see the A scenarios for both characters. And then I did Claire B for the true ending. And then I went back and did all the cleanup, which means I had to do Leon A for collectibles, Leon B for collectibles, Claire A for collectibles, and Claire B for collectibles. It was not great. Some of those I did do challenge. I did some of my challenge run trophies on because for the platinum, because I wanted to get the platinum trophy. You had to do like no item box, no healing, hardcore difficulty, all these other things. So I combined some of those with my collectible runs to make sure I wouldn't have to do a ton of playthroughs. However, I ended up playing the game about 8 or 9 times, probably, because it was my first Resident Evil game. So I took things slowly and made sure I knew the game well. So my script just got covered up by an update pop up. Right back. Now I want to talk about my thoughts about the game a little bit, and I'm gonna do this for all of the games I played through, starting with 2, of course, because we're still on that topic. I loved this story so much. There's things that I definitely will forget to talk about. By the way, or I'm not going as much in detail about because I played this game and 3 weeks ago. 4, 7, and 8 are more recent for me, so those are more like I remember more about those. But one thing I do remember is loving the characters, loving the story, and also being extremely scared at the RPD segment in my first playthrough, and running out of ammo almost immediately. Yeah, it was not. It was not. It was not great. And then Mr. X decided to show up when I came back to the RPD after needing the power panel parts for the parking garage, the key card. Mr. X shows up. I'm like, oh, right, yeah, this is not gonna be great. And then once I got used to the game, it wasn't as bad on the cleanup playthroughs, and on Claire's playthroughs, Mr. X just gets obliterated by Birkin. So yeah, speaking of Birkin, the boss fights, yeah, those were also something. I did enjoy them, except I feel like the lack of a dodge button really made some of them difficult. And we're also not going to talk about Super Tyrant. Super Tyrant was fine, but I don't think there was a single playthrough where I actually did where I didn't use the rocket launcher, because I thought, because I was using the infinite rocket launcher for bits and pieces of my first playthrough, because I wasn't as comfortable with the game. I was not as comfortable with the games. I haven't done that since for any future playthrough. Well, except for cleanup runs, of course, because cleanup runs just get significantly easier when you have a rocket launcher to destroy enemies with. But, yeah, I didn't know Super Tyrant died instantly to the rocket launcher. I thought it was like other boss fights where, you know, you have to attack them, you have to damage them a lot in order to take them down. Yeah, I didn't know Super Tyrant died instantly. So I haven't fought Super Tyrant regularly once, like ever, without it. Because my hardcore run, I did on Claire. Well, I did even on Leon. I did that, but I still used the rocket launcher because at the time I did the hardcore runs, I think I was 7 playthroughs in. So I'm done. I need to move on to the next game. So, yeah, I will go back, and I definitely want to play the game again without the rocket launcher, with my knowledge of the games now. I feel like I'm better at these games now, where I feel like I could do a run without needing those. So I will definitely go back and do a run without the bonus weapons and all that. But yeah, I did enjoy Resident Evil 2 overall. I would say the Forced Survivor mode, which is needed for the platinum, that was fine, except for how frustrating it got. It only took me 2 tries to complete it. The first try, I got to the very end, and then I died. And then the second try, I knew that if I can get here, on my first try, I can get here again and actually get through it. And I almost died on the second try as well. But I made it through and got that platinum trophy. And I was like, I need more of this game, more of this series right now. I didn't have 3 and 4 yet, because I have physical copies of both of them. Yes, I know the camera's mirrored, but I have physical copies of both of them. So I had to wait for them to arrive. But once they did arrive, I was like, I need more. Give me 3 remake now. So I loaded it up, started Resident Evil 3, and overall, I think Resident Evil 3. Like, I know there's been people that said that it wasn't as good as the original, and like I said, I haven't played the original, so I don't have that experience to compare it to. So I'm gonna say Resident Evil 3 was better than I expected it to be. The story was fun, and I loved how it showed the events leading into Resident Evil 2's beginning, and also getting to explore the RPD before those events started, or events happened, where Leon showed up. I loved all of that. I loved the protagonists, Jill and Carlos, and also my issues from the previous game were resolved. I had issues with ammo, which I feel like was mostly a skill issue, because, you know, it was my first game. And also the lack of a dodge button in the last game. The dodge button in 3, amazing. I loved it. And I did get this platinum trophy also. And it took me only 4 playthroughs, because I did standard difficulty, and then I did minimalist, the no item box, and the no healing. Also going for collectibles. So it was a bit stressful, but I got through that. And then I did Nightmare difficulty, so I skipped Hardcore, because I'm like, I'm just gonna do Nightmare. And then I went to Inferno after that for the S rank, and got my Platinum. And Inferno was low-key rage-inducing, because that first segment, before getting access to the item box, and the save points, oh my goodness, it took me half an hour just to get to the first save point from the beginning of the game. Yeah. And my least favorite part of Resident Evil 3 Remake was easily the boss fights. I did not enjoy any of them. I mean, Nemesis, the first one was fine, and then Nemesis turns into a Bloodborne monster. Like, it literally looks like something straight out of Bloodborne. Like, here's Nemesis, stage 2, and here's the Bloodborne boss, or enemy. Like, they look almost exactly the same. So, yeah, especially Nemesis, the third fight, I did not enjoy that. And the final boss, that one was kind of a joke. So I can't say I didn't enjoy it, because it wasn't that bad. Hold on. Before I get into Resident Evil 4, I gotta drink some water. So, Resident Evil 4. Absolute cinema. This is my favorite game of the series. Easily. Well, out of the remakes and the modern games. I won't be comparing the older games to the modern games, by the way, when I go to play through those. I'm gonna treat those as separate games that aren't not try to compare like controls, gameplay, story, whatever. I'll just be like, I haven't played the remakes when I go to play those. So then, like I don't have to like. So then if like Resident Evil 4, for example, if the original version is a little bit more clunky, janky, whatever, than the remake, I'm not gonna be like, oh, the remake is better. Which, I mean, technically it should be, but anyway. Back to my thoughts on Resident Evil 4 Remake. I loved this gameplay. When I first saw the level design, I was like, Uncharted. Uncharted 4. Right there, that's Uncharted 4. Well, not literally, but like, the areas reminded me a lot of things, areas I would see in probably any of the Uncharted games, to be honest, but mostly Uncharted 4. Reminding me a lot of the Uncharted 4. The story was also my favorite of the series, and the Separate Ways DLC scenario, I guess it's a scenario, I think it is, at least in the original, I think it is. Feel free to tell me in the comments if that's not the case, because I have no idea. But I think it was. In the remake, it's a DLC, and I loved it. I think I actually liked it more than the base game. The base game was great, but playing as Ada with her grappling hook, I loved it. I loved that so much. And I am working on the Platinum Trophy as we speak. Well, not literally right now, but I started the Platinum Trophy cleanup yesterday. So I don't have much to say about that right now, but maybe in a future video, I'll go over my thoughts on that. And included with this remake is the Mercenaries mode. And man, I might as well try it. Why not? And, oh my, what? Why did I not try this earlier? Well, actually, I know why, because I wanted to just experience the story. But I love this mode. I know it's not required for the Platinum, but I got S rank on every stage, I think all of them, except for the DLC stage. And I did unlock the hand cannon weapon, which I will probably be using it on some of those future playthroughs, because it's there, so I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use it. And the boss fights, I know I'm going like very fast through all these topics, but I've got 2 other games to go over. And I don't want this video to be 30 minutes long. Well, it probably will be, but I don't want this video to be an hour long. So I'm kind of going through things quickly, but in a future video, if you want me to like take things slower, spend more time with a specific game, or like, give me feedback in the comments. This is probably one of the few times I actually do a scripted kind of video. It's not a full like script, but it's more like I have bullet points on everything I want to cover. And just like add in extra stuff, extra commentary. So yeah, if you want me to like slow down on things, talk about other things more in the future video, feel free to let me know. Back to the boss fights. I loved these things. I would say, I'm trying to remember the boss fights. El Gigante, the first one. That one was fun. Del Lago in the water in the lake. That one was really fun. It was kind of annoying trying to like get the harpoon. That's the one part I didn't really enjoy as much, but it doesn't really ruin the experience. And then the main story related, well, all of them are story related, but like the major boss fights, like uh, Ramon Salazar, etc. Those ones, I loved those. My favorite of this game is easily Jack Krauser. Both times you fight him. The first time I feel like was a little bit more interesting because of the close combat experience, and then the second time I was kind of annoyed with having to chase him down everywhere, but it was still a lot of fun. I really loved it, and I honestly, after playing the remake, I really want to play the original just to see how it was and see how my thoughts are like how like my thoughts compare to the remake. So I will definitely be playing the original and the originals of 2 and 3 because I want to see where those started as well. Like I said earlier. Anyway, on to the game that I almost quit of the series, Resident Evil 7. And this is why. It's not because of the story, the gameplay. I mean, kind of probably, but like most the story, the characters, or whatever. I don't like first-person horror games. First-person horror anything to be honest, but so I was like, this is a big step in like, will I end up loving this game? Will I end up hating the game? Whatever. But in the end, after I got past like the first couple of hours, I was actually starting to enjoy the game, and I kept wanting to come back to it. So yeah, I was like the first part where like you didn't have a gun, you were getting stalked by Jack Baker, and everything. I was like, oh, this is so frustrating. But then I started getting other weapons, making progress, and everything, and it's actually turned out to be a lot of fun. The story was really good as well. I think I would put it above Resident Evil 3. I'll talk about my ranking towards the end of the video. But the story was good. I think the Not a Hero DLC was better, in my opinion. Nothing against the main story, but the Not a Hero DLC, I did really enjoy it. I did not play the other DLCs, but I will definitely go back to them when I start my trophy cleanup. Which, speaking of trophies, I have not worked on the Platinum yet because I want to do these in order of when I played them. So I'm going to start with 4, and then do 7, and then Village, if you're wondering. So I don't have any thoughts on the Platinum for this yet either, or Village. So I won't be talking about trophies for Village either, because what's the point whenever I said it here? Which, speaking of Village, on to my second favorite game of the series, Resident Evil Village. This game, I'm gonna be honest, wow, I loved 7 so much that I wanted more of the Ethan Winters story. So I immediately went straight into 8, like the same day I finished 7. Which is a crazy choice, by the way, but I did that. So, yeah. And I didn't think I would love it as much. I did go back to third person, by the way, because the first person, I can't. I mean, I can do it with 7. I can do it with 7's Platinum. I'm used to it now. I get it. I know what to expect. It won't be as bad. But I don't think I can do it for future games. So, I went with third person for Village and loved it a lot. The gameplay reminded me a lot of 4. The story, almost beat out 4. But I feel like there are some things that I didn't like as much. Like how they decided to still keep Ethan's face hidden, even in the DLC. Why? Why did they do that? I don't know, but sure. That's it. The gameplay took the main features from 7, made them better, and like I said, I noticed a lot of similarities to Resident Evil 4, which is probably why I love this game, because 4 is still my favorite, and I'm so excited to have that Platinum. So, I was also excited to have 8's Platinum. So, yeah, I would say the DLC was also really good. Like I said, I know I'm going really fast, but I didn't put a lot of things on these bullet points, so I'm having to like just like just go really fast. Well, I don't have to, but yeah. But the DLC, I love the DLC. The story definitely helped close out the Winter's Family saga. I won't go into detail as much with the spoilers for anybody who hasn't played those. Please play them. If you're interested, of course. But the gameplay was similar to the base game. Okay, now I'm diving into spoilers. But the addition of being able to use Rose's powers to stun enemies, I loved it. I loved that. And now I'm going to go back to the base game because I don't know why I put these out of order. But the boss fights, those were amazing. I loved Heisenberg's fight the most. With the mech, I don't know if you could call it a mech, but it kind of was because there was a gun, there was a tank, a gun, a rocket launcher, and a lot of really fun things. And it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that one. I honestly can't wait to go back and do that again when I go to clean up the platinum. And yeah, I think that's it. Other than that, Ethan Winters definitely is one of my favorite protagonists. I don't think he beats out Leon. I think Leon is just he's top tier. But Ethan Winters is definitely really close because of like, the story events. Like, yeah, I still don't like the decision of them hiding his face even in when there's third person available, but it's fine. And certain story events that took place in both the main story and the DLC solidified my decision of making him one of my favorite protagonists. So yeah, before I get to the ranking of these games, I wanted to say, well, I cannot speak. I wanted to say that I'll be playing through Resident Evil Requiem at launch, potentially on stream. Haven't really decided yet. I guess y'all can keep an eye out for that. But if you want to see me do a review video on this game or any of the other Resident Evil games, let me know in the comments. Or just any other game in general, actually. If you want to see me do a review video on anything, you know where to put it. Put in the comments. And I want to do a video like this, but for the older games. Not all of them, because there's like a ton of them. But like the numbered ones, specifically. And probably Code Veronica as well. So, yeah, if you want to... If you... Well, I might be doing one. It might take a while because I obviously have to buy them all. But if you want to see a video like that, leave a like, comment, all that. Now let's get on to that ranking. It's pretty clear of where some of these will go, but obviously I'm going to still go over the ranking. Let's start with 5th place, which is Resident Evil 3. I still love this game. I loved all of these, by the way. Like, they're all 4.5 stars or higher on my backlog, which I'll mention again shortly. 4th place is Resident Evil 7. I feel like the other ones I'm about to mention were just a little bit better for me. 3rd place was Resident Evil 2. I feel like that one's gonna stay pretty high up in the end because of nostalgia factor for me. It's like, that was my first game. A lot of like my initial experiences happened in that game, and where I got used to the gameplay and everything. So it's gonna stay in 3rd place for sure. 2nd place is Resident Evil Village. Absolute cinema of a game. And 1st place and favorite game of the series as of right now, Resident Evil 4. Also, absolute cinema. I don't think that will change for a while. When it comes to the modern games, I don't think it'll change. But when I review Requiem, I will add that to this ranking. When I do the older games that aren't the remakes, I will do a separate ranking for those. That doesn't include the modern games. Just so y'all will know for a future video. Yeah, like I said, there's definitely a lot of things I forgot when it comes to my experience with these games. But I did do reviews on my backlogged account, which I will have linked in the description. And all the games I've been playing this year are in there. Games I've started but haven't continued. Games I've dropped. Games I've started and plan to finish. Games I've already finished. Games I've finished last year. all of that's in there, and all the things I plan to do in the future will also end up in there. And if you want to see other videos on games I've been playing during a specific month, I want to do some of those. I was gonna do one for January, but I finished a lot of games, and I wanted to do a specific video on Resident Evil. So, yeah, here we are, with a Resident Evil video. And I also never thought I was gonna do these, but here we are. So, yeah, I'm excited for Requiem, and hope the next video might not be related to Requiem, because I'm trying to do a video every month on this channel. So the video might be on something else, because Requiem comes out on the 27th of February, which means I would have to finish the game in a couple days, and also, literally one day actually, because it comes to the 27th, and yeah, you get the point. I wanted to finish it basically the same day it came out, and I don't think I'm doing that. So that review video will probably be in March, but next month I'll do some sort of fun video on some topic, whatever it is. If you have any suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments. And yeah, I'll see y'all in the next video. Alright, bye everyone!